Alright, there is a lot of new content in the Steel Division, and I didn't even try a lot of stuff. When it comes to Orders of Battle, I didn't do it. I still didn't look into it, but there is a new difficulty setting on AI. Now we have hardest difficulty setting, uh, and I was just interested to test it out because AI in Normandy 44 was excellent, but in Steel Division 2 it felt a little bit worse, like still pretty good. Um, in Normandy it was like best AI I have seen in any RTS game. I am kind of player who would play a lot of skirmishes against AI, so it's for me kind of interesting, and this is much I played against the hardest AI using 116 Panzer Division, which in my opinion is probably best division to AI to play because it has really dangerous combination for units which are very easy to use. Basically, it has Panthers, good long range and good short range infantry, some cheaper tanks, Panzer Force in this case, and support weapons, AT guns and also field guns, which usually AI use together, which is very dangerous combination. So I didn't test it with any other division. I guess if you uh, play against AI which using like infantry division or something like that, it's a little bit easier to defeat. But I am pretty sure this is most dangerous combination. So let's look at it. I using Americans, and my plan is basically to take the town, or at least from some good defensive position in it, and then take this hill and push kinda on the right side, snipe enemies from this hill, and basically get fire superiority over town and take it with a lot of my infantry. I have a lot of engineers with satchel charges and also riflemen. And Americans have semi-automatic rifles, so they should have advantage here. I only need to be careful about pioneer spots. So, and on the left side, I just have some defensive position. So, but purpose of this replay is to look what is AI doing and if they improve it or if it's still kinda dumb. So far I like what I'm seeing. They well, they could probably disband this infantry a little bit sooner, but they take in defensive position pretty well. They're pushing infantry in the forest, and there a lot of tanks are in the elevated position overwatching the combat area, so that's pretty good position for these tanks. So, like if I pushed, I would also position them around there. But this is something I don't like. You know, why is AI using these pioneer squads like outside the town when it should know that I am trying to take it? I'm guessing it trying to secure the flank because there are here bushes, but it's quite pointless. So that's something they should work on. On the right side, like AI is not very effective at securing this hilltop, especially this recon squad is on the wrong side of it. But This combination of AT gun and a field gun is very dangerous. So when it get into position, no, well, here is not very great position, but it can work. I like the it keeping its field guns between infantry, but some positioning could be better. Like especially this recon squad. Um, I don't think there is any excuse why it should be on the other side of the forest of its own support guns when frontline is here. So, but it does pretty good job at assaulting this forest, leading charge with Sturmpaniers and having light tanks kinda behind the forest, so they supporting each other. That's quite a smart move, and also shooting with mortars. But yeah, I managed to secure most of the town. This is probably the biggest blunder AI does in this game. Like it starts fighting for this town, but it sent most of its Stum pioneers, which are most needed in this situation, somewhere into the ditch, a few hundred meters away from the city, and then sends its heavy tanks through my lines with bazookas. So they didn't fix that, but outside of that, it does pretty nice push with its tanks. Like this is pretty dangerous, like almost like it's trying to surround me. So I don't think AI is that smart to actually try something like that, but it seems like it. But they need to fix this. Just sending its tanks through the enemy lines with, with bazookas. That was not smart move. But it definitely does pretty good at fighting this forest. Like it pushing through the forest with its infantry. This is pretty good combination. Sturmpioneers and Strostrup. The actually Sturmpioneer squad died for some reason. I didn't even realize. Okay, let's see what these things do when they are being flanked by my AT gun. They don't really doing anything. Okay, they're falling back pretty intelligently into these bushes. And finally pushing with two pioneers. And yeah, this is pretty good move. I do think the Stumpioneers, these two Stumpioneer squad are kinda out of position, but I guess they are trying to go for the bridge because there is a point, but they just leaving that tiger unprotected, so that's very bad move. And this is another very bad move, just sending Panther into the city alone, unsupported. Yeah, that's really stupid. Like, uh, it's nice that AI tries to sometimes do something unpredicted, something which might be stupid, but because it make it more dangerous. But if the Panther was sent on some roads where there is not much stuff, like if AI send Panther through here, that could be dangerous. Or what these things did, that they went alongside the river and then saw this position I was heavily defending. That was smart, just sending into the city where there was heavy fighting and line is very heavily is not moving. That's not very great idea. But these support guns have pretty good position. They overwatching most of the city, and it's just great combination. Yeah, it actually uses this support gun in pairs. That probably must be have been a program specifically that the AI should then use them in pairs because it's really a good combination. Overall, with the defensive positions, well, this support gun is kinda in the weird place, but they are on the hills, mostly in the bushes or forest. That's pretty good positioning, definitely. But I should also admit that I didn't play very well in this game because I was playing normal income and without pauses and didn't play in a long time, so I was playing not very well. I was pretty surprised that I even managed to take that city because I always have a big problem fighting over big cities. Well, I didn't take it for long at least. And I managed to beat his tanks back. So that's unfortunate that the AI didn't support its push a little bit with more infantry in try to actually hold the position they took. This is also kind of issue that also here there is was a lot of infantry in this forest and AI just kind of suicidally charge into my position. Like if they hold them a little bit more defensively, it could be much more dangerous. But now is AI starting to push on the left side, and that's good. I also like that AI is not focusing on the just one place on the map because that can be really boring. I think when I start playing Steel Division 2, the AI sometimes just fought over one place and just left other places undefended. But now the first push was through here and into the town, and when I destroy their units, they just start pushing on the left side. Mostly with light tanks, which try to kill my jumbo, which is pretty pointless. Yeah, this unit composition which it's used for the push is not very great. Like there are panthers coming, but these support guns are very out of position. Like if AI push them here, they could actually support its Panzer freeze against fight of my jumbo and What is this gun called? No, M5 gun. Well, and yeah, I try to secure my position in the town because I know that if I take it, it's gonna be because right now they can really push me from there because I still didn't secure the secure the sites, the outskirts of the town, so I can really shoot from the town into arriving enemies. I can still defending inside of it, but if I can do that and secure this forest, I can just start doing some cool maneuvers here, maybe push to another forest or alongside the river and assault this crossroad, which would probably completely make me dominate this area. But yeah, it just overwhelmed me with sheer force. Like if you just look from the bigger distance, you can see the how much more units it have. So it is kind of spam, to be honest, but it's not like unmanageable. Like most of what you see are like group of 5 tanks and few infantry squad together, so you don't have the feeling that you're just fighting a really stupid AI with just sending bunch of stuff. Like it is paced a little bit better. Of course, it can also depend on the. Oh, this is interesting push. I just want to show you infantry fighting house to house. And now I secured entire town. It's just shame I could not keep it. But yeah, this kind of game is very intensive on the micromanagement, and I just a lot of time makes a lot of mistakes. Like this town, I'm not aware how I lost it. Just I look here, and all my infantry is uh, in this light forest here. They just get pushed away by all these units. Yeah, pretty good position, but didn't I give them any leaders? I probably didn't because they could use some. Oh, actually they have Panzer 4 here. So that's one more improvement. They probably could, if they have big groups of tanks or infantry, keep some leader close. And maybe also have some better spacing in this kind of case. What are they doing here? These two pioneer squad just pushing to this light forest without any kind of support or without any kind of AT. That's not smart. Also, this forest is on the hill and it's very important, and for entire game they have just 2 support guns and 1 flak 38. So it also would be nice to see them to defend it a little bit more heavily. And yeah, they push me from the town. Again, they kinda use their tanks without the support. Like if I pause this game and just was able to micro and everything, I would just bring bazookas and push them back. But yeah, this is quite a big push. Well, I actually don't think there anything very interesting happen in the rest of the game. I just kinda barely holding on these positions, but well, it wasn't that interesting of game. I wanted to just look at AI, how it works, and I definitely think there were some improvements. Like the positioning is better. They keep its support guns more in the cover, and its tanks on not it also kind of in the cover, but in the position. Probably you would see players to have them. Of course, in the it still feel a little bit spammy, but it's always better to be rather than it to be very easy. But I just see a lot of cases where infantry and the vehicles don't work together, and that's the shame. Like I know that it's probably hard to program it, because like in the case where the tanks push through here and assault this farm, like that was pretty smart. Like if they push with infantry first, it would be just very slow and it wouldn't be that effective. But because AI push with tanks alone, they managed to secure it for some time. But here in the town, they just push with the tanks by the road to my bazookas. Like there was a lot of infantry just standing backwards. Well, not backwards, in the back, by the river or by the bridge. That could be something which I think could be fixed or improved, because it cannot be hard to program the rule that infantry go first in the towns or something. But yeah, I'm really liking this new AI. Like it's really challenging. I think I also have quite a problem defeating hard AI at first, but this feel even more extreme. But I'm not. I play mostly no income, so I'm not used to playing with normal income. But I probably gonna try more games, like I did in Normandy 44, like competitive 1v1s. So that's all for today. I definitely hope they continue improving AI, like especially with that still Division 2 is more focused on the single player. It's a really big part of the game, and it's certainly something they it's useful to have even for the future games. So I gonna go, guys, then bye.